So page 114. Okay. We're in the Mechaber Hey. In Nivska Ritzua, what happens if the strap of the tefillin tears? Yishmatir litfor mitzad pinim. Now you want to sew it together, stitch it together. We had earlier, it was machlokas. The tefillin is supposed to be made of me'or echod, one piece of leather. What about if you glue it together, or you sew it together? Is that considered one, or is it still considered, it literally has to be of one? From the outset. From the outset. Okay? Here we're speaking the strap tears. And you sew it from the underside, so it shouldn't be noticeable. Evidently, it must be a thick piece of leather. I mean, the stitch doesn't go through the upper part of the strap. So it must have a certain thickness, the leather. Okay? So yesh matir litfor b'tzad pinim, that if you sew it from the inside, it's okay. V'yesh omim ma shemakiv mimena harosh, ub'shel yad kedei shtakav azor likshar atfilim azor kedei shetimotach ad etzba emtzoz, yichimena alo osa etzba sholosh krichs v'yikshar, elam takot lo b'shirul b'tfiro. Again, explain it again. Now, let's say you have the rosh, the tefillah rosh. So you have the strap, which you have the knot, which encircles the head, which you're able to secure the tefillin on the head. Then you have the straps that hang down. The straps that hang down, that's all, that enhances the mitzvah. Let's say it doesn't hang down, but you have enough to secure it on your head and for the knot, that's enough, it's kosher. So anything which is beyond that is something which is extra. So therefore, said Dishal Yad, but here he's saying something, Dishal Yad, you have to have enough strap to tighten it on your arm, to secure it on your arm, and it should be long enough that you should be able to wrap it on your center middle finger. To that degree, within that range, you can't stitch it. Beyond that range, which is totally extra, you could stitch it, because even if you cut it off, it wouldn't be a problem. Beyond that point.
It ends that.
He says, I want to read it again. The strap which encircles the head, that you're tightening the upper arm with the tefillin is the tefillin, together with the forearm, with the arm, and you should be able to extend the strap, to extend it to the center finger. And you wrap that finger with the three times. If you knot it, if you sew it, it's not a solution whatsoever. But let's say we do it 7 times. We wrap our arm 7 times, which is really, that's only an enhancement. That's not a necessity. And the sharosh which hangs down in atfira v'akshira poslim, because even if you don't have it, it's valid beyond that point.
So theoretically, the middle finger, you could stretch it from here straight here. You don't have to wrap it. So then it's not so much more.
So where should the attachment not be showing? Over here?
Not it shouldn't be showing. It doesn't show, it's the underside. Stitching doesn't help because it's not considered one strap. Right. Also, I mean, you could fold your hand like this, you could have it extended, so you need more strap to get to the center finger. There was a machlokas. No. Machlokas poskim. He said the yesh matirim. There are other who are matir, who permit it.
The same ones who are matir.
We'll see. It says b'shas adchak. One person has no choice. The strap tears, and he can't locate another strap. So he's in a bind. You can rely on the lenient, those who permit it. Otherwise, you're going to be totally detached from mitzvah tefillin. So now, what about say a bracha? Do you say a bracha on it? Right? That always comes up the question. So of the rice luchumra you put on the tefillin, but do you say a bracha? Meaning the yesh matir, is it a sufficient opinion that you're even permitted to say the bracha? We'll see the Mishna Berura.
It was showed we feel that
not one. It's not one. Stitching doesn't cause it to be seen as one strap. You need one ritzua. No, we're talking about it's torn straight across. It's not that it has a tear in it. No, that's what he explained. First, it goes across the side. Lengthwise, for sure, it's not going to tear. It's not like a vessel, like a cleat. Across this, going the widthwise, you pull on it, eventually it's going to tear across. I'm not sure, because there you can be careful. See, with a cleat, it's brought off. Let's say you have a washing cup. You have a hole in a washing cup, and the hole is above the revius mark. To wash for bread, you need minimally a revius. If it's less than revius, it's not valid. So let's say you wash with a cup that has less than revius, it's not a valid washing. So let's say you have a cup, and it has a hole in it, and the hole is above the revius. So the vessel, and you pour on your hand from the side where it's not passing over the hole. It's 100% valid. But it's a hole. What about if it has a crack? It has a vertical crack. And it's made of not metal. It's made of pottery. So if it's made of metal, even though it has a vertical crack, that vertical line will not continue. But if it's cheres, if it's made of china or earthenware or glass, ultimately it's going to crack further all the way. And we have a principle by Kolomit Lishrov Kisorov Domi. Something which is meant to be burnt, we see it as if it's already in a burnt state. Since ultimately it's going to crack all the way down to the bottom, we already see it as if it cracked all the way down. So it doesn't have the value of a cleat. So it's not valid. So he's asking, what about ritzua? So if you have a tear and you have a sufficient amount of width left, right? So seemingly it's okay. It's not a problem. Even though and naturally it's not going to tear across. It's not going to tear across. The vessel naturally will crack ultimately. It expands, it contracts, whatever it is. Eventually, just the temperature will cause it eventually to crack all the way down to the bottom. But the ritzua depends on how hard you pull on it. If you're very careful. No, we'll see. We didn't get to the point how wide the ritzua has to be. We'll see. Yesh matirin. Afilu toch shir shemaka varosh v'akibores. The yesh matirin permits it even within the amount of strap that you need, which encircles the head and encircles the upper muscle. Litvar dafka tfiro. He speaks specifically sewing it. What about tying it? You tie the straps together. But tying is not sufficient. Everybody would agree it's possible. Here, you have to have the knot, the hainu, haritzua shegoshu tia tamo ushlemo. The strap that you tie on your hand, it should be complete. V'lo kshuro. Gam atfiro hu dafka begidin v'lo b'chutim. See, now you understand. Also, the tfira, the thread that you use should be gut. It should not be an ordinary thread. Kosev b'tshuvas dvar shmuel. In nivska mabarto mutal letofro. Right? What about the mabarto? It detaches itself, and you want to reattach it. The mabarta anyway is sewn on. Remember we spoke about it. The top is it two pieces, one piece, the top and the bottom. So there he says you're permitted to sew it. Mitzad pinim, and the Ramos says when you stitch it, it's from the underside of the strap. So on the upper side of the strap, you don't see the stitch. Kedei shlo yeh mincha b'bachutz klav koshki b'makom atfiro konus l'toch hamabarto l'shor l'dezu. Yeah.
Rabbi, what are we saying about the middle finger if you're struck, if you don't have enough strap?
So it's not. So according to the more stringent opinion, it's not valid. The strap is not a valid strap.
And therefore,
According to that, it's a puzzle. You can't put on those tefillin. I mean, the Merchaba says, but if you have no choice, you can rely on the more lenient opinion.
You put them in the Rosh.
Yeah, the Rosh. We're talking about whichever one has this problem. 1 second. Etzba. Ratzaloma she timotecha ritzua below krichos. Meaning, you don't have to make the 7 encirclements on the arm. You fasten on the forearm, and then you pull it all the way down to the center finger, and there's enough to wrap it 3 times around that finger. Below krichos. Zeu shir orach haritzua shal yarchanal simchav zayin sivches v'atam dehekel b'shal rosh. I'm Darki Moshe. So what about it? It's supposed to hang down to a degree, right? Hamatirim hainu demuta afil litfor begidin toch shir shemakav rosh gibores. Says you have a right to rely on the more lenient if you have no choice. B'chutz l'shir hazeh mutar afil likshor koshkim litfor b'chutin. Beyond that point, which means whatever is extra, which we would call superfluous, would be what? You could even stitch it or even tie it. Okay? This is the Shalu said. He says, if you have no choice, you put them on that stitch, but bracha you should not say. Because it's sub bracha's loke. Bracha is only rabbinical. The primary opinion is the more stringent opinion. That stitching is not sufficient. Right? The Sovik Torah l'chumra. So what do you put it on? Sov the rice l'chumra. So it goes both ways. Sov the rice l'chumra. That one should not totally be detached from the mitzvah. So until you find another pair. I am betas supposed the gambertzu shel rosh in yochel levorech oleo at yeritzu shel yomin aratibur small arachos. Very important. The length, if you notice, the straps, one strap is longer than the other. One has to reach the umbilical, the location, the center, and one goes beyond that. He says that's maki. As we say, that the strap has to be long enough to wrap the center finger, has to be long enough, it's not enough just to encircle the head and the knot. That's hang down to that point. Aratibu small arachoze.
It's a different opinion.
It's different, it's taz.
The taz.
This is the taz. Shlema b'li kshiru tfira. Abel sefer Eliyahu Rabba. That's another one of the poskim. Ichri la'alocha. The bein sharosh bein shal yad levav mashiesh toch hashir shemakav rosh v'akiboris yochel letofro ach shlo b'shasatcha kvorach aleim. 1 second. Hear this? He rules the Eliyahu Rabba that you can even say a bracha. That the yesh matirim is not such a difficult position to accept. So one can even say a bracha. But when you stitch it has to be from the underside. That the stitches should not be obvious from the outside. Because once you see it, you're able to see the stitch. It's no better than knotting it together. You have to use gar abuchutin or kshira also afil b'sharosh. Possible say Yeshua's Yaakov, the Erchaim, Yeshua's Yaakov rules, and the Erchaim is the Nesivis. Let's say a person just doesn't want to put on tefillin. You could locate another strap, have somebody put it in for you. Definitely, there's no question. It should be replaced. Meaning, we're talking about the hanging down, not only to encircle the head, but even hang down. They say the taz that it has to hang down. If it does not hang down, you rely on all the other poskim that you could even say a bracha. If you have especially 8 inches hanging down, sewing it beyond that point. Hear this? It has to be the length of a barley. We're talking about horizontally. It tears across. It has to be minimally. Remember, we spoke about years ago. The small pairs of tefillin, the straps are very narrow. So it has to be. But what is the minimum? It has to be a sora. It's not a thread. Sora is more than a thread. Okay. Theory is not clear. To be continued. No, sora. No. It's the length of the barley. You ever see barley? Barley you have in the bag is called pearl barley. It's taken out of the husk, but if it's in the husk, it's a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer.
Well, if you only have one kosher box, either the shalosh or the shayah, you put that one in.
Yes.
So the bucket for that particular, and that's it. I mean, you have no choice.
What do you do?
What do you say? Two brachas.
Shall Yad say Niach and Shall Rosh you say 2 brachas. Yeah.
It's far to say one bracha.
Okay, let's see.
What is the reason for the two different, for the length of the two different?
Halacha Shmisi. That's Halacha Shmisi. he left it tzorchim. That says the Pri Megadim leaves it unresolved. Could you stitch it? Stitching it across. It would be the same thing. No, if it's valid, then you could stitch it. If leaving it is valid, so stitching it is Let me ask you a question. You have a debt to pay. And you can only pay a fraction of debt. So you say to the creditor, I can't pay most of it. I'm not paying even part. Ruva Kakula, right? Consider it hasn't paid, okay? If it's enough, it's enough. Rove is the other way, that if you need rove is the equivalent of the whole thing. But here we're talking what you have. No, I'm just telling you why you don't say Ruva Kakula. Over there, the svarba with the kli is the crack ultimately is going to go all the way down. So we already see it as if it cracked all the way down. Ruba kula means if you need rove, if you need kula, rove is the equivalent of kula. We're not looking at what's torn, we're looking at what you have. You see what's still intact, is that still considered intact? Okay, let's see the Mishna Berura.